Howdy, folks.
That's really good.
This is Magnus Booner, and I'm here with my buddy,
Joshua King.
Today, we're doing a real special video for you. We're going to be cooking over this campfire, and I've got a recipe. It's not my recipe.
It's not mine either.
I stole it out of this cookbook. It's called Czech Cookbook. You should check it out. The lady that wrote this book, her name is Kristýna Koutná. She has her own YouTube channel called Czech Cookbook. And she's got a website called Czech Cookbook. And that's where I'm getting this recipe from. And I will put a link down there in the description box to her website and to this recipe. The only thing I'll tell you is I'm modifying it just a little bit since we're camping today to make it a little easier. So I'll put my mods down in the description box, but you gotta visit her site if you want her recipe. If you like beer, food, travel.
Vítáme vás v Expressu číslo 356.
Travel.
And the outdoors, smack that subscribe button. You don't want to miss any of my silly videos.
Gross.
So we're going to start some prep work. The recipe calls for 3 ounces of mushrooms. I have no idea if this is 3 ounces of mushrooms because I didn't bring a scale.
Looks like 3 ounces if I've ever seen 3 ounces.
Must be then. So what we've got today is something very special. We spent the morning chanterelle mushroom hunting. Pan to the film of us chanterelle mushroom hunting. Okay, now we're back.
Yeah.
We've got fresh chanterelles that we got here in the Olympic National Forest. Now, this is kind of small in the world of American chanterelles, but it's one of the biggest ones we're going to use in the recipe. I like these smaller little chanterelle buttons. They're my favorites. These young ones, the flesh is nice and firm.
Yeah, they really are. You eat them and they're nice firm, almost crunchy, but you know, this time when we found the bigger ones, because it's been so dry, they have been nice and firm and they're not wet and soggy, so that is a plus.
Yeah, when it's young and firm, I really want to get down on it and just eat it.
How small do you want to cut them?
Appropriate size.
I'm healthy.
Well, those are chopped mushrooms if I've ever seen them.
Yes, they are.
The recipe calls for 1 small onion, diced. So now what I've got is 1 pound of USDA choice tri-tip steak. I'm going to slice this about 1/3 of an inch thick. In Czech Republic, they don't have the beef industry that the United States does. The beef there typically is not of the high quality that it is in the United States. The recipe tells me to beat my meat a little bit to tenderize it. I'm not sure if that's actually necessary. I believe in Czech Republic they use the cows for dairy, and then when they're used up they slaughter them. If I'm incorrect on that, tell me how dumb I am down in the comment section. But I'm going to slice this and then I'm going to beat my meat because Katrina told me to. So we'll slice it across the grain. Depending on how hard your meat is, depends on how much you want to beat it. Unfortunately, my meat's not very hard, so I'm not going to beat it very much. You just pound it out a little bit. You don't want to shred it. It's important to be gentle when you're beating your meat. This guy is so freaking annoying.
I just like to be on the camera.
Okay. Now, Katrina says to fry this meat in oil, but I don't think that's traditional, so I'm going to use lard. We need about 2 tablespoons.
All I try to do is shoot video for him, and he says mean, hurtful things to me.
So we are gonna fry this tri-tip steak in this lard and develop a little melanoidins on it, or some crust. I'll be doing this in batches because my pan is not big enough to do it all at once. Now I'm gonna turn these. Okay, we've got some yummy melanoidins developed on that meat. We're gonna pull it out and add the next round. I got this foil here, so I've got somewhere clean to put it. Oh, look at that. Those are beautiful melanoidins. So we're going to need 4 cups of water, and it dawned on me this is a 16-ounce can, or 1 pint. So to measure it, we'll just fill up this can. That's 4 cups of water if I've ever seen 4 cups of water.
Yes, it is.
Okay, we've developed some lovely melanoidins on this meat. We're going to add the other meat back and then add the onions. The shrooms should probably saute a little. What do you think?
Yeah?
Yeah.
In bacon grease or butter?
Bacon grease. Bacon fat, or lard as we call it. We've had a meeting, put our heads together, and we've decided those mushrooms need to go in there with those onions and that bacon fat. Look at those. The recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of salt. Since we just added those mushrooms, I think this is good a time as any. I like salt, so we might go a little heavy. The fun part about campfire cooking is you got to constantly monitor the fire. I like to use the tongs, the same ones I use on the food, to move bits of fire over there. Okay, now we're going to add 4 cups of water, or 1 pint. I almost forgot the caraway seeds. 1/2 teaspoon whole caraway seeds. Now we're going to bring it to a boil and simmer it for about an hour. Partially covered. So the modification we're making in this recipe is we're going to toss some spuds in while that's boiling. Since it's got to boil for an hour, it'll take these about an hour to cook. Since we're cooking over a campfire, it makes sense to do it all at the same time. Some dummy bought these potatoes a couple weeks ago and then left them out so they've turned green. And as we all know, when your potatoes turn green, that's actually toxic. You've got to cut those off. So apparently we're peeling these today. Okay, now that we've got all the green bits cut off these potatoes, we're going to add them. Those green bits are toxic. Probably not toxic enough to kill you, but it could degrade my IQ a few more points, and let's be honest, we can't afford to have my IQ degraded anymore. I've got a Pilsner Urquell koozie that I bought when I was in Pilsen in Czech Republic. So while all of that mess is over there simmering for an hour, we're going to prepare the thickening agent that we're going to use to thicken the sauce at the end of boiling. The recipe actually calls for heavy cream, but I need a cup of it, and what am I going to do with the other cup that comes in one of these pints? So I'm using half and half because I'll put the rest in my coffee. The thickening agent is going to be half and half, and 3 tablespoons of Wondra flour. This coffee cup holds about a cup. It's close enough. We'll add this. That's the Wondra flour. We'll use Mr. Fork, and we'll stir that in. This thing has been simmering for an hour, and it's time to add the thickening agent. We're adding it through the strainer so we can make sure we don't have any lumps. Now we're going to bring this to a boil. And then the recipe also calls for half a teaspoon of lemon juice. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. That is half a teaspoon if I've ever seen it. Well, I'll tell you what, this stuff ain't getting any more done. We're gonna get ourselves a little potato here, some of this yummy beef, and then some idiot forgot a ladle, but we got a spoon. We're just gonna get after it. Got a little potato, some meat, some mushrooms, some onions, some sauce. That's creamy sauce. Oh my God. This takes me right back to that time I was in Czech Cookbook drinking beer and getting drunk and visiting castles. But I'll tell you what, they didn't have chanterelle mushrooms there. This shit's amazing. I get some lovely melanoidins from that meat. Mmm. That is creamy. It is beefy, mushroomy, potato. I feel like I'm somewhere in Czech Republic drinking beer by a campfire, camping with a Dutch oven. Well, maybe not. But hey, if you like this video, smack that subscribe button. I'll be making another one real soon. I am Magnus Booner. Find me on Instagram at Magnus Booner. I'm on Facebook. I'm Magnus Booner. Or find me on the Twitters. I am at Boner Magnus. Thank you for watching. Share this with your friends. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up. We'll be bringing you another epic video real soon.